Now, let's go ahead and dive into talking about this week. We're going to be talking about the week of August 3rd to August 9th, 2026. On Monday, August 3rd, Chiron is going to be stationing retrograde. Chiron just dipped into Taurus about a month ago and now is going to be retrograding and moving back into Aries. We'll talk a little bit deeper about that. On Thursday, August 6th, Venus enters Libra. Venus enters Libra. Interesting. The sun is trine Saturn retrograde. Hi, Ruben. And then Mercury exits his post shadow on the 6th. And then Sunday, August 9th, Mercury enters Leo. So there's a lot of like interesting textures coming up this week that's gearing us up for preparation for the eclipses. The following week, we've got a lot of transits happening from those recently shifted Venus and Mercury. So let's take a look here. Let me go ahead and get my screen set up. Who's new to the live stream? I feel like there's a couple of newer faces here. We're going to jump over here. All right. Welcome. Thank you guys for liking and sharing the live as well. I appreciate you all so deeply, especially for those of you on TikTok. That's how my content gets out to other people who may enjoy this content. New, yay, welcome. Yeah, so I do this every Sunday. So definitely if you're not yet following or subscribing, that is a beautiful way to stay connected. But also I re-upload this to YouTube, both on 8th house Mercury and Astremia. And additionally, I have a newsletter. I write about all of this stuff as well. So I write this in a beautifully written format. You've been in here once before. Yes. Senior name. Hi, goddess. Okay. So we're looking at August 3rd, and we're going to be taking a peek at Chiron here. That is not the color I want. I like using this green color because it's very easy to see. So we've got Chiron here, not yet moving retrograde, and you'll see if a planet's retrograde in the platform I'm using, if the text is red. So we're going to go ahead and shift this to hours, and we're going to go ahead and jump into the future on the 3rd, and we're watching to see when Chiron, boom, around 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Chiron stations retrograde. So let's talk a little bit about Chiron. Chiron is the wounded healer. That is that mainstream pop astrology articulation of this asteroid. And the thing about Chiron, to understand him, we have to understand his mythos, his story, right? He is this centaur that rules over a group, or is like a medicine man for a tribe of centaurs. And the thing is, he heals everybody, but he's got a wound of his own that he doesn't have the capacity to heal. Thank you, goddess. I really feel like I'm deepening into like some deeper presence with my voice, hence the like taking a break from sharing videos. I feel like, yeah, I'm really done doing like performative speaking. And so this is me like fully relaxed here. So thanks for acknowledging that. So with the story of Chiron here, with understanding Chiron, there is this edge that comes up with the collective when Chiron shifts into new signs. Chiron recently shifted into Taurus and is inviting in a deeper look at what we value, what is worthwhile, what we covet. It really brings in, if you're familiar with tarot, it really brings in the conversation piece around pentacles, and it brings in the material goods, like what we relate to and how we value ourselves in reciprocity. And usually that relates to money, right? Relates to how we get our needs met at a financial level and making sure that we have our goods. And so Chiron moving retrograde. So let me name the piece of Chiron and Taurus a little bit deeper so we understand this assignment. that is coming, and this opportunity that is coming with Chiron and Taurus, is it's really having us see where we still have pain points around how we value ourselves, what our standards are for ourselves in such a deep, deep way. Thank you. Well, depending on your moon sign, and what degree it's at, right now, Chiron's only at 0 degrees of Taurus. So until Chiron meets your moon at an exact degree, it's not going to be as potent, but you'll start feeling the themes come up, especially if your moon's in Taurus. A lot of your emotional needs are very connected to how you feel secure. And if security is not there, you need to reevaluate what you covet, what is important to you, what you value. How do you value yourself and your emotions, right? And that is a deeper conversation of looking at your relationship with your mother and how you got your needs met. Now, with Chiron stationing retrograde, and this is going to be a bigger piece because Chiron's going to be moving retrograde and is actually going to be moving back into Aries. So wrapping up these Aries themes. So as Chiron goes retrograde at this 0 degree point of Taurus, it's like we got this really fresh look at like, oh, scarcity, right? This story around how you relate to money and the frequency of money. And I am a lover of money because I am a Taurus sun, and it's because I understand the deeper meaning of money and that it is an energetic exchange. And when you get to a certain level of knowledge of how energy works, you're able to witness and observe how to open that channel more deeply. If you want to know more, read Happy Pocket Full of Money. He talks about the quantum physics of money. So, really good book. Now, this retrograde is bringing in a deeper invitation. It's really allowing us to look in at self. How do I potentially put myself in circumstances where my value, what my perceived value, and I literally saw like a price tag, like what you price yourself at, because you think that that's what you're worth, but also you have this internal battle that's like, no, I'm worth more. I'm worth more. So this retrograde at the 0 degree point is starting that sort of sanding down of meeting those edges for you on an internal level of what stories still reside within your physical body too, right? Taurus rules the body, how you relate to the body, where you're holding resistance to receiving more. Okay. And then Chiron's going to be retrograde until January 6th, 2027. But September 17th, we'll talk about this in September, but Chiron's going to go back into Aries. Chiron's going to go back into Aries. And really, those last degrees of Aries, it's going to be going all the way back to 26 degrees of Aries. So if you have anything at 29 to 26 degrees of Aries, those are going to be reactivated in a way that's really allowing you to look at, and as we're really moving into the collective energy, because that's what I name here, is the collective energy that we've all been moving through with Chiron and Aries since 2019 has been, who am I? Who even am I? We've all been doing this like masquerading thing. Like we see people online, we're like, wow, they're really cool. They know who they are. And they're behind the scenes, behind their phone, behind the camera going, I don't even know, like, who even am I? So we're all in that collective piece. And so with Chiron retrograding back into Aries, it's really like bringing in this final thread of like selfhood, reevaluating these past pieces of, it's removing false identity threads that may still be lingering, and or how you've related to people. And it's interesting, the sort of energy that's coming up. And I'm going to pause before I deepen into that to just like give you guys a deeper framework of how I move through astrology. It's very different. I'm an evolutionary astrologer and also a gifted, intuitive person. I'm like psychic, mystic, whatever label you want to slap on me. I'm just in touch. The astrology and how I perceive things, it moves through that channel. And so what I'm seeing with Chiron moving retrograde back into Aries, which again is going to be September 17th, is noticing where there is still false identities attached to you. And with Saturn retrograde too, this is really supportive of this energy. And Neptune retrograde, it really is this like, I've got to rid myself of anything that is not mine anymore. And it's sort of this idea of like seeing where the wounds have been inflicted. This retrograde is seeing where maybe it's now self-harm for you to be in a certain expression of self. I was deep in the channel. I'm checking the chat. That makes sense. And checking in with my Twitch and YouTube community who are watching. I see you guys. I love you guys. Hi. I have multiple chats open. I'm streaming to YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok, just so everybody's aware. Started a pole class aware of my body in a good way. Yes. And like the power that your body can wield. It's such a beautiful tool. And when we're deeply honest, our body is one of our greatest tools from God, because we can take unconditional love that is always present and ever effervescent and actually make it into form through art, through saying, I love you to somebody, to holding somebody, to dancing, to whatever that is, right? That is the gift of the body, of like being in a body, is we get to make love tangible. And allow spirit to be brought into form and be touched and witnessed through self-expression. Yum. Yum. I really appreciate all of you guys hanging out here with me. This sort of newfound energy that feels really present. It feels really good to be settled into this energy with you all. Yeah, I've gathered and implemented great boundaries, and it still hurts my heart that others find it offensive constantly. Yeah, and ultimately when we realize, like, people are going to perceive things how they perceive it, and I'm in a very similar spot as you, Greta, in that sort of regard. And it's like, as much as I could try to soften the edges and make it palatable for the person receiving the boundary, it's not my work. And some people are just at different places, and that's okay too. And that there are people, environments, spaces that actually want to receive you and your boundaries and respect and honor those. Yeah. Recovering from chronic illness. Yeah. Reconnecting with my body has been hard and transformative. Yes. Livia said, I'm getting to know my own sense of internal home and safety again, and so much more of a somatic and tangible way. And boy, it's empowering. Yes. Why does it hurt most? Because we're sensitive people, and we see and we feel. And my permission slip for you, Greta, is like, you don't have to take on the pain of their experience of the boundary. And maybe even a deeper thread is like, what part of you is still connected to that as far as like feeling the pain, right? I put my comments, but they're up there. Hi, Rebecca. I find that balance in that, and not perfection and idealism. Yeah. So Chiron retrograde, right? This is going to be that deeper like descent into integrating the physical piece, understanding those edges, because Chiron's going to be, it's going to move direct in Aries in 2027, and then shift back into Taurus, and we'll be in Taurus for a good chunk of time. So there's going to be those collective themes. And on my newsletter, I wrote more deeply about Chiron and Taurus. You can search it up on my Substack if you feel that desire to read my interpretations of it. Just so I'm not like a broken record here, repeating all those things, but it's really a subtle slowdown and a subtle, like, shifting down, stepping down. It feels like shifting into a lower gear so we can see and hear and witness what is needed and what is needed to be released for us to be able to move at a, not a quicker pace, but like something that is more in alignment with what we do feel in our soul, but we have to like take those subtle pauses. And yeah, the Saturn retrograde is very a part of this, and same with Neptune retrograde. Like this is very much a part of the energy. All this soon to be Chiron and Aries energy, all this like Aries retrograde energy is going to be really like, whoa, it's like pulling the reins on the horse and being like, okay, who am I on this steed? You know, what do I represent? What is this identity? What am I willing to fight for? What am I willing to share with the world? But at first, I have to really look deeper within self. I'm going to have a little coffee sip. Again, thank you guys for liking. I see you guys. Thanks for all the likes. I would love to go live maybe sometime this week if it feels resonant to do some live readings, card readings specifically. Just a little disclaimer, I don't ever do live natal chart readings because I know I have some clients in here who have had me read their charts and I go deep. It's not something that should be on public display, so I won't be doing live chart readings, but maybe live card readings. I'm feeling that yummy urge to do that, so we'll see. But I've been going real slow. So looking at the next transits, let's go ahead and shift this to day. And let's go ahead and look at Thursday. Pew, pew, pew. That sip was very satisfying. Yay. Hi, Jake. It was a good, I want more coffee. I mean, it's not even like coffee. What's my big three? I am a Taurus sun, Virgo rising, and an Aquarius moon. Very earth and air. I'm pretty well balanced actually, elementally. But I'm mostly fixed as far as modality. You're an Aquarius moon too? Yes. Aquarius moon gang, rise up. What feelings? We're just a computer. We just process them like a computer. Okay. Now, wow. Okay. Venus enters Libra on Thursday, August 6th. Okay. She's kind of blazing ahead of everything. Oh, we've got a lot of Aquarius moons here. Yay. So Venus shifting into Libra, let's talk about that for a moment. Venus is at home in Libra. Now, this is the masculine expression of Venus, whereas Taurus is that more feminine expression of Venus. So when we get Venus moving into Libra, this is, I love this. This is beautiful energy. Libra desires balance, diplomacy, equal exchange, beauty. A lot of the rich imagery that's coming to my mind is like going to like a beautiful like art museum and just like the ambiance and the witnessing of dedication to an artistic craft. And Venus is our planet of love, giving and receiving. We can look at Aphrodite as that Greek counterpart. And this, when it relates to love, like this is kind of more of a beautiful time to actually have one-to-one connection, one-to-one relating conversations. There's a squirrel running around outside. It keeps distracting me. Venus in Aquarius, North Node as well. Beautiful. My Venus and Aquarius folks, y'all are lovely humans too. Is that a bug on you? No. Okay. You see a squirrel outside, by the way? Hi, Gabby. My boy. I think he's a Libra. He's so pretty. Like, how can he not be? And that is that Libra energy. So when we focus on Venus moving into Libra, this is inviting in more of a taste for balance, reciprocity, more desire to relate to people and connect. My Libra folks, y'all know how to talk. I'm jealous. I mean, I am sitting here talking to you guys, but there is something that is so inherently sociable. Sociable? Is that a word? That is more socially acceptable with your guys' energy, where there is this, you understand the, like, and have, it's like you guys speak in symphony is what it feels like. Like, you know how to say the sweet things. I'm a Mercury in Aries, which is, I'm a little blunt with my communication. Bless people that are close to me. I appreciate you for receiving said bluntness. I'm like, what else do I want to, I'm like simmering in this Venus and Libra energy. It just feels really delicious in the sense of, this is a time to connect with people. That's going to be the greater invitation with Venus and Libra, is conversations. Depending on where Libra is within your own natal chart, of course, that's going to add a different feel, but at a collective level, sharing your feelings, talking about them, inviting in more curious conversation, inviting in more romance, a bit more play, a bit more focus and emphasis on partnership. Yeah. And when I say partnership, this doesn't necessarily have to be romantic, but there is an invitation of like romance moving a bit more easier here, as far as like connecting to people, feeling more supportive to share, and good music, good social environments. Like, this is a beautiful time to, like, I'm seeing like farmers markets, going to concerts, like gatherings, and more closely knit community containers too. Yeah, ballads for okay, your username's Atticus. So I do professional readings for anybody who is interested. If you desire a natal chart reading from me, it's going to be on my website, which is astremia.me. I can type that here as well for anybody who's interested. I had my caps locks on, so bless. But yeah, I have 4 readings open for August. I do 10 readings a month, so I have 4 spots left for anybody who's interested in booking with me. I would love the honor to dive into your natal chart. You meet with me one-on-one, it's recorded, and I dive into who you are, what you came here to do, the growth, the soul evolution, and knowing yourself at a deeper level. I'm an evolutionary astrologer, and shout out to my friends in here who have gotten readings from me. Tessa, we talked about Chiron retrograde. We're just starting to talk about Venus entering Libra. So I think we're about, like, I don't know, 15 minutes in. I don't know. Time is weird. Okay. Now, what else does this Venus in Libra want to share with you all? It's like, yeah, put yourself out there. I'm going to be so honest. This is a good time to like put yourself out there. Now, I'm going to say that's not an invitation for you guys to put yourself out there towards me. But other people, yes, I'm just sharing what is present in the astrology. So putting yourself out there in the like going to events, going and socializing, trying. This is a beautiful time to try new artistic adventures, those kinds of things. Amber, hello, welcome. I have a spider bite on my back. Oh. Okay. And yeah, very much like karaoke for sure. Yeah. Well, I just have to have very clear boundaries, goddess. Like I really just have to have clear boundaries with my energy. I know it can feel very, very inviting to people, and that is just me being a kind person. Please do not mistake my kindness as flirtation. I'm just a kind person. But this is like, please, like for I really see like go to the events, go meet people, go mingle. This Venus in Libra is very supportive of that. Okay, whatever you do there. All right. You went to tomorrow Indeed Music back into my life. We had Tomorrowland last weekend events. Belgium. I want to go to, that is such a sync for me. I want to go to Tomorrowland so bad. I want to see the Symphony of Unity so bad. So bad. So bad. It's on my bucket list. Hello. Okay. Now, additionally, there's a couple other things happening on this Thursday. We have the sun at 14 degrees of Leo, making a trine to Saturn, retrograde in Aries. Okay. You saw the Symphony of Unity. Oh, my heart. You just knowing that you got to experience that. I'm just like, basking in the like parasocial experience of that I feel I've been there. I've been there with you. That like when I've watched the lives, I'm like, oh my God, I'm in the crowd with everybody. It's one of those things. Yes, this is still on August 6th. Still August 6th. Okay. So the sun trine Saturn is very, very beautiful. This is a very supportive edge because the sun represents our ego identity. The sun is at home in Leo right now. So there is this amplitude, especially after the Jupiter Cazimi that we had. There's this amplitude of like heart-centered energy that is like engulfed in flames. And this trine to Saturn retrograde is this very supportive piece of like, it really is like this, how to maintain the flame. How do we feed the flame that is our heart, our life force energy? What is sustainable? And with Saturn moving retrograde, like I talked about it last week, there is this deepening into what foundational pieces that I've been cultivating the last 6 months. What's really helping me? What's really beneficial? So this trine is like, what things that I've been doing within my routine, within my structure, within like building identity too, is beneficial for me. It's sort of this idea of like, you've cultivated a flame, it's been ignited, but to tend to the hearth of your life, it takes consistent energy. And this is where this trine is really supporting you, looking at like, it's like an honest, like truthful invitation to look at like, yeah, what really does fuel my fire? And there's going to be with this being a trine, it really is like the supportive edge of like really seeing what is true to you and your frequency. Depending where Leo is at within your chart, of course, like where is Leo in your chart? For those of you, again, I like to share these things. On my newsletter, I go deep into how this is affecting you personally based off of your rising sign. So definitely subscribe there. So like, what else wants to come through here? Now I have the Symphony of Unity live set in my head right now. Oh, that matters. Okay. mm, I'm just taking time to feel into this. This might be creating stronger boundaries around your identity too, where it's like, oh, actually, um, the expansion that happened with the Jupiter Kazemi was like, whoa, that's a lot. I need to take it a step back. Like, I need to, like, actually, you know, only so much gets access to this flame that I've been cultivating. Like, it's almost like recognizing that in order to create something long term and more for the future, North Node in Aquarius, it's going to take me reprioritizing my energy. That's what this trine is talking about, is a reprioritization of your ego identity and like where you want to shine your light. And it's giving what is it? It's like the 7 of Swords, where it's like, is it, what tarot card am I thinking of? I'm seeing in my mind's eye. Is it that? Yeah, where you already have these 5 swords in your hands and you're looking back at these 2 other swords. And let me just pull up the image for you guys. The 7 of Swords, right? He's oh wow, I'm gonna have to really zoom out there. There you go. He's looking back at these 2 other swords and it's like, do you need these, right? You already have your hands full with other things. Like, you don't need those. So can we cultivate and look at what we already have and realize, well, maybe I don't want this sword. Maybe I do want to trade it for this one. Maybe right, and I know a lot of people will look at the 7 of Swords with a sneaky eye, and that's sort of, I'm not looking at it in a deceptive way. I'm looking at it in like, you don't need those things. That's your ego. That's the more manipulative energy of Leo, where it's like, I want all the things for me. I want it all for me. And Saturn retrograde in Aries is like, your hands are fucking full, dude. Like, and that's where, this is where my perception of interpreting astrology, interpreting tarot, is a bit more evolved, in the sense that I'm not really talking to a collective of people that are going to be sneaking around, like, or doing things that are like deceptive. Of course, we do have deceptive nature in us. We're human, right? There is that, like, it's a kill or be killed, realistically. Kind of primal nature. We have that within us, but there is this, the reason I speak to it in this way is to give you guys a different opportunity to look at things differently, because I can name the more intense aspects of this trine, which could be like, oh, actually, like, I'm going to overload myself and like, I'm going to follow this ego South Node in Aquarius, or a South Node in Leo energy, and go into this, like, I want all eyes on me. I want all the attention on me. I want everything. I need it all. I need all this energy. And Saturn's like, you can't sustain that. That's not sustainable. So this is a really supportive, with it being a trine, it's more that supportive look at it. Now, additionally, Mercury exits his post-shadow period. What does that mean? Mercury went retrograde. I'm like, what were the exact dates? When did Mercury go retrograde? How is it? I don't even know what fucking day it is anymore at this point. Mercury went retrograde on, hello? Oh yeah, it was like the whole month of July, huh? Mercury went retrograde on the full moon in Capricorn, yeah. So went retrograde on June 29th, then went direct on July 23rd. And so there's this period that happens, is like, now Mercury is out of the clear. So we're sort of getting to this space of realizing throughout this week, it's kind of the final dredges until we meet this Thursday. This Thursday is going to be like, oh, that is why I went through the emotional chaotic storm that was Mercury retrograde and had to purge all these things. I had to release all these things. I had to lighten the load. I had to look at those two swords and go, yeah, no, I'm good. Mercury exits his post shadow. And so by the 6th, we're in the clear. We're going to be in new mental terrain. We're going to be in a new atmosphere when it comes to how we relate to our emotions. This is a space where Mercury is yet to tap into in the last month and a half, essentially. So with that being said, this is going to be kind of that break free moment of like feeling the load lighten. And I love it because with Venus moving into Libra with this supportive trine to Saturn, it's kind of this like, oh yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. I knew that it would. So good. Yeah, that's kind of the vibe. Then, then even more beautiful is on the 9th, which, by the way, I'm going to talk a little bit about. We have the Lionsgate portal that everybody will be yapping about. It's not astrology related by any means. It's just a numeric date that everybody gets really excited about, which like is fair. Something that I do on the Lionsgate portal is I always take one of my journals and I dedicate a whole page to it, and I really write into existence what I want the next year to look like. It's a little invitation for people. So possible reconnection, recommunication could be possible. Sure, anything's possible. It would be more supportive after the post shadow period, but let people show you what they've learned. With the Lionsgate portal 8/8, right? This is where the star Sirius and the sun meet. And so this within the constellation of Leo, right? Am I correct with that? I'm totally channeling that shit. Right? Isn't that what happens? Yeah. Leo in the star Sirius. Yeah, that's what's happening. So it is somewhat astrological. I was like, is this? So with that, it really is this like opening of downloads that can happen. So, I mean, like I said, I personally just like write what I'm calling in, and it's like, I'm trying to see what journal I have. I could grab an old journal and show you guys. Oh, thanks for the follow. Let's go. I get real. I love my this is like a journal from forever ago. But I do a whole like spread and I write all this stuff of what I want. And then I look back a year and usually it comes true. So, how'd you get to do it? So that is through Twitch. I have Twitch alerts set up. Hello. Sap. Yeah. Yeah, the way I've got the live stream set up is, yeah, it's different. We're adjusting things. So on the 8th, just invitation to write to your heart's content and let what comes through comes through. There's nothing you really need to do then. People are like, it's the most important day for manifesting your reality. It can be whatever you want it to be. That could be today if you wanted it to be. Intention. All right, now jumping forward on the 9th, Mercury moves into Leo. Whee! Yes. Yes. Shout out to my Gemini and Virgo risings. It's time. Well, maybe for the Gemini risings, Virgo risings, Mercury's moving into your 12th house. So I don't know. We'll be in that together. Again, thank you guys for liking and sharing the live. I see you. Thank you. I need to water my plants. That was a total random sidebar. Got so distracted. Interesting. I don't know who's just joined the field, but like different energies shown up. So, okay. I gotta take a moment. Yeah, water. I'm gonna water them. So, Mercury enters Leo. What does that mean? Our communication is entering into a new terrain, a new realm, especially after this time of having Mercury in Cancer for almost like a month and a half. I was drowning. I'm so done with the Mercury and Cancer energy, ready for it to be over, stoked for this energy. Mercury entering Leo really brings in this flair for conversation. It brings in a heightened expressive energy, using your voice to cultivate an audience, to cultivate and garner attention. RIP Mercury in Cancer. Sorry. But it really is such a beautiful way of wow, I keep getting distracted. Wow. And that might be this Mercury energy. It's just going to be distracting. Ooh, shiny things. Ooh, this thing. Ooh, that thing, right? Where it's like conversations can be that way. But really, the thing to note with Mercury moving into Leo is that, especially paired with Venus and Libra, is like you can really cultivate conversations in a very powerful way. Meaning like your words have sway at this time. So watching and just noticing, like in the collective field too, is like a lot more people. I really feel like a lot of people are going to be on their high horse at this time, especially August is about to be very interesting to watch when it comes to just the collective energy with the eclipse portal that we're about to be entering into. So Mercury is just adding fuel with its fire. Yeah. And speaking of community, I have a Discord community for anybody who is interested. We do a lot of things. We have a bunch of different clubs that are happening. So if you're looking for a community space and feeling that desire to connect with like-minded people, come join. And the deeper aspect of that, within that, I have a deeper container for people that are desiring to work with me and in a group container, which is called the Inner Circle. So we're going to be doing that eclipse portal deepening, which I'll talk about in a bit. I really want to wrap up talking about this Mercury in Leo, because it's kind of like adding gasoline to the fire, which is very interesting. It's going to be very interesting because Jupiter in Leo, Sun in Leo, and South Node in Leo. So just mind, I'm going to say mind your business. Like just mind your own business if you can. There's going to be a lot of heightened conversations that's going to be happening at this time. Now, this isn't to say like silence yourself or shut your voice down in any way, but this is really your words have power. Your words have power here. Yeah. Watch what you consume at this time too. Observe. Yeah, this is very interesting. Observe the like a moth to a flame kind of thing. Like, what light are you attracted to at this time? Especially because Mercury is how we receive information. It's how we process it. And so notice where like people are going to latch on to like certain figureheads or certain online personalities, right? Or certain trends, right? It can get into that. And there's sort of this invitation of like, what's your own light doing? speak from your own light, not copy and pasting somebody else's authentic energy, right? Cultivate your own authenticity here. What is your light? What is your flame? And how can you cultivate that? Okay. And communicate that and talk about it and share it with people and spaces that really admire your light and want to receive you in your fullness. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's this week. Wow. Wowee. So, quick recap again. On Monday, the 3rd, Chiron stations retrograde. It's going to be retrograde until January 2027. Thursday, August 6th is a jam-packed day where Venus is going to be entering Libra. The sun is going to be trine Saturn retrograde. And then Mercury exits his post-shadow period. Then Sunday, August 9th, Mercury enters Leo. Wow. So with all that information, all of that, as we move into August, I'm going to be hosting this eclipse container. And for those of you who have just popped in and weren't here at the beginning when I was articulating this, essentially a eclipse portal is the 2 weeks that happen between a lunar and solar eclipse. It's a very intense period of time that we're all sort of handed like really dense information to like then chew up and digest over the next 6 months. It's nice to have a space to land during that time. It's like an initiation point is those 2 weeks, and having a sort of container or something to hold on to while you're going through it helped me. That's why I cultivate it. I'm like, there's no way that I'm participating in an eclipse without a container. And so I've cultivated that. I'm hosting it through my inner circle. So for those of you who are already in the inner circle, that's what we're going to be doing. I have more information I'm going to be sharing with that. But if you feel that desire to join the inner circle and have access to that space, we'll be doing that. We'll meet on the lunar eclipse and then the solar eclipse, and then between those 2 weeks, through our container, am going to be inviting in deeper inquiry with day-to-day prompts and guidance.